Are we really live, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Well, we were just having a random conversation with my wonderful model, Sterling. She is a new face at Unite Towers. Someone we met locally, myself and Dale, but she is an international model, and we're going to have a really interesting conversation today because she has travelled the world. Literally, probably actually done more places than I have, which is saying something. So hopefully, because the theme of today is trends from Fashion Week, so it's truly international. What an amazing thing. But we'll just blab along as we usually do, because I just think it could be interesting to the audience as they're starting to tune in, talking to someone like yourself about, you know, how does a gal from Southern Cal, SoCal, get to travel the world, and where did you start? I think that'd be more interesting than what I normally talk about, so we'll be talking more about that than me doing the hair. Anyway, we've got a full house today. I wish I could turn the camera around. We might do actually at some point, because we have got some people in the place today. As per usual, we've got the guys behind the camera. We've also got the makeup artist in, obviously, because we're doing more filming with the model. And unbelievably, you only see her occasionally with a heavy filter when she's doing some product bits. Or, no, it's not Ali, it's the other one. Or when she's working with us at Fashion Week. The girl who tries to keep me under control, tell me what to do, fails miserably. Stacey's in the house. So she's sitting over there somewhere, just pointing and telling me to shut up, get on with my work, and all the rest of it. But Mike's going to move the camera around today. I think we're going to do a little bit of like adventurous, or I'm going to pick the camera up and I'm going to go on a walk with it. How about that? Does that sound good?
I follow you, so wherever you go, camera goes.
All right, let's go. I need to go to the toilet quickly. Boom. Right, Stacey's wearing what I'm wearing today. Can you believe that? She has actually decided to take my wardrobe and use it herself. So, yeah, it's frightening. Frightening. It's time to get a complete new revamp. I'm not going to be seeing, this is probably the last time you're now going to see me in olive green, because now Stacey's abducted it. I can't do it anymore, you know, because now you know it's not fashionable. So we have to go elsewhere, as this is the fashion episode. As per usual, anyone chiming in, saying hello, let us know, Mike. Magic Mike with the thumbs will keep us up to date with any questions, especially, you know, especially Fashion Week. We're doing Miami Swim Week, so that is around the corner. I mean, we're nearly into April. It's the end of May, so if you haven't booked up yet,
There's only 5 spots.
Literally fresh out of the horse's mouth. There's only 5 spots left to attend Miami Swim Week, which is crazy. That's become one hot ticket to go to, that one. Fantastic for content for yourself, your salon, etc. Highly recommended if you want to be in the chaos backstage of Swim Week. All the models running around, etc. in the swimwear. It's manic. Mike is looking forward to it already. He breaks out in a cold sweat when I just talk about it. We won't say anything more than that.
Cutmaster AK says hello.
Cutmaster AK, you got to tell me what your name is, where you are, because I don't follow anyone on Instagram, do I? So I can't remember who they are. So anyway,
Well, there you go. Who are you? Where are you based?
Yeah, exactly. And if they just saw me for the first time in New York this season, I'm not going to remember what your damn Instagram handle is. God's sake. Right, we're taking some looks from that. So I'm going to predominantly be setting the hair, because there was a big trend for glamorous hair. And not only did we see that at Fashion Week, it also showed up on the red carpet at the Oscars and some of the other award ceremonies as well. So, you know, if you've got that crossover from the Fashion Weeks, etc., and it's highlighted there on the red carpet, then you know it's a particular trend that's coming through. And I always say that is always a direct byproduct of, one, the 90s trend was still big. We were doing a lot of still very grungy hair. So, of course, the flip side of that is always going to be much more beautifully sculpted. So I'm getting into this. We're going to come back with our faithful hairsprays. I've got Max Control and Go 365 to whatever my choice is going to be. And I'm using a relatively smaller curling iron than is traditional, because I really want to put some curl into this, that when you brush it vigorously, and that was the trick behind styling the hair for the runways, is that it had to be set really, really well so it would last for the few hours, but also you need that resistancy in the curl as well to brush it to create that glamorous look. So without further ado, unless there's any questions
Are you,
or observations.
Cutmaster AK is possibly Ank or Anke from Germany?
Oh, guten Abend. Vielen Dank for tuning in. Speak German?
I do not.
Oh, what?
But I
said
lived there.
You told me you had travelled.
I lived in Hamburg.
Hamburg?
I modeled there, yeah.
Because you liked hamburgers. Boom. Right, where haven't you lived? There you go, there's one for
A couple
you.
places.
Just a couple.
I got a few more left on my list.
Like the obvious, Russia, somewhere like that.
I've been there.
You've been there, you haven't lived there though.
No, I didn't live there,
No.
but I have been there.
Alright, cool. Have you been to Scandinavia?
Yes.
Okay.
Estonia, Finland, Sweden, Norway.
Or do you speak norsk or svenska? No?
I don't speak any other languages, unfortunately.
Rude. Rude. See, this is the life of an easy runway supermodel, is you don't have to speak languages because they will all speak in your native tongue to you.
They will.
Yeah. If there's any questions you want to ask a well-travelled model, put them in there as well. You don't have to talk to me today. You've got an absolutely perfect opportunity to speak to someone else for a change, way more interesting than this old fella.
Alison Sainsbury from Ireland says hello.
Top of the morning, top of the evening to you. Let's be grand. I'd like to say, if someone else is tuning in, hello to the Australian contingent. I'm popping down there in a few weeks, in the beginning of May. I'm having a little 2-week tour down under, mate. So I'm just going to be ripper. You been to Australia?
I
hope
have.
you have. Yeah, of course. Did you like it there?
Yes, I loved it.
Isn't Sydney a bit like California and London combined?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a
I'm
hybrid
glad you
version.
said yes.
It's like a hybrid version.
Yeah.
Of the...
It's like the best of both worlds.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sydney is very cool. Australia's cool, full stop.
Yeah.
But I feel way more at home now, I suppose, because of it being so heavily influenced from the UK, from England.
Yeah.
I can get good tea down there. Well, that's never a bad thing, is it? So this young lady, actually, I had two choices. I said, where's your favourite places to go? And they were, one like myself, Japan. You said you lived in Tokyo.
I did.
Lived in Tokyo.
I modeled there, yes.
For
3 months.
Speak some Japanese?
I understand a little bit.
Right.
I would say more than other languages that I've
Right.
actually looked into just because I love the country so much.
And Greece.
Yes.
Greece was your other favourite.
That's my other.
So we were
top place.
talking about the water in Greece. I always say to people who've never been, the water in Greece is stunning.
It's amazing.
I've actually got Greek Cypriot cousins, so I've got some blood relatives over there as well.
Oh.
They just feed you all day.
Yeah.
You won't let you get off the table. Yeah, great place.
Even random people, all the strangers are just
Yeah.
very friendly, like walking
They
in
look
their
at you and
homes
they'll
and
think,
feed
you
you.
haven't eaten, you need to eat. Come inside. We went to an amazing, great, Stace, how good was that Greek restaurant in Chicago though?
Phenomenal.
It was literally probably
They
the
literally
best
said
soup I've ever eaten.
They were the best Greek food in the world. So
Yeah, they advertised
In
it
the
as that.
world?
It's a
In the
big
world.
claim.
Even outside of Greece?
It was a big claim, but it was completely Greek because the service was very Greek. It was all over the place, and just having a good time. The place was packed out, a huge place, but true to form, Stacey sniffed out a winner. We were not going to let her live it down, but it was great. Can't remember the name of the place, can you?
Probably best food in Chicago. I don't know.
Yeah, it was one of 2 restaurants we got the recommendation. That was phenomenal.
Well,
In the Windy City. Any questions, Mike? Any observations coming in?
Everyone's just enjoying the show.
What? How can they?
What's the look you're doing, Gary?
What's the look? Well, I've already described it once, so, do I have to go over it again?
For the new people tuning in.
See, this is why we have Stacey here. She's the prompter. She's the negotiator and everything else. It's basically we're doing some glamorous hair. You can call it whatever you like. You can call it Hollywood hair. You can call it whatever. But it's taking the hair back to that glamorous time when women used to have their hair rolled up in a salon and sit there for 3 hours under a hairdryer and bake it hard.
How fun.
So, you know, what we're replicating here is using a generous amount of hairspray. You've got to put, you know, plenty of spray in this. There's two reasons why. One, you've got the heat protection from the hairsprays anyway. We've always got heat protection in our products. And also you need that hair to change. I always say that change the fabric. You've got to change the fabric of that hair into something that is going to hold, have plenty of guts to it, as we call it. And this is just Go 365 I'm using. As you can see, I'm liberally coating the hair. Now there's two reasons for that. One, to obviously increase the setting power of the actual hair, but also to protect the hair as well, because it's had some colour on it over a period of time. And I can tell the porosity levels of it are different. So irrespective of, you know, me colouring it, I just know, or, you know, from experience, how generally how that sets when you're dealing with hair like that. That's what I would tell people. It's always good, and I always tell this to all the students who come along to Fashion Week with me, when you're doing this backstage, do a test piece. Do a test piece on the back of the head, see the response you get. Do you need to go down to like smaller sections, bigger sections, change the tool, change the choice of product? You want to find out early, and this would apply to working in a salon as well. You don't want to set a head of hair without testing it, brush it all out and then realise there's no hold whatsoever to your curl. That's the number one rookie mistake we all would have made early on in our career. Pretty much like burning your thumb like I just did about 30 seconds ago. So it's sizzling away right now. That was talking to Stacey. I blame Stacey for that. She does that to me always at Fashion Week. It's always the norm. What's this you're doing as you come up, as you're on your 45th model and it's hectic and they've all got to be done in 10 minutes? What's this look? What products are you using? She's laughing because she knows it's true. Mike?
You got a Hi Gary, the all camo vibe, huh? From Shannon Singerman.
Shannon's back on there. Well, I'm not quite camo today, Shannon. It's just olive green. I'm feeling very olive. Stacey's stolen the camo. You'll see her. You'll see her in a bit.
It'll be the cover photo when we post it for live.
Just the jacket.
See, and you thought you were coming in today just for like a quick, quiet photo shoot, didn't you? And it was just going to be like easy peasy, not say anything. Little did you know you have to get involved and listen to my crap jokes for like 2 hours solid.
I had no idea.
So where's your favourite place you've modelled?
Probably the same thing.
Yeah?
Japan.
Japan.
Japan, yeah.
Because you were 9 feet taller than everyone else over there?
They just
They just loved you over there.
treated me the best there.
Yeah. They just do in general, don't they?
Yes.
It's that culture of not wanting to disappoint. I actually found out
Everyone's are
about
good.
that.
Yeah.
It was because we get asked questions when we go over there. We go to a place called Toyama, which is on the west coast. We visit a college there for a couple of days. And they always ask questions that we're not even concerned about.
Yeah.
But they've got a special word for it, that they want to make sure that they don't want to appear as a bad host.
Yep.
So even if they, you know, not enjoying having you there, they never want to come off as being a bad host. What a nice little scenario that is. So yeah, great culture.
I used to have little breaks on my shoes where they would like rub my shoulders, like constantly handing me things, water, coffee, just asking me if I need anything to eat. It's
Wow, no wonder
so
you like
nice.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very
so
similar
nice.
to here. Yeah, that's why Stacey's in today. She's doing that. She's got the Pilates rug out. She's got the masseuse hands working for you. She's got whatever you need. She's got rose petal face spray. I know she has. She sprays it in my eyes just to wake me up when we're at Fashion Week. Either that or it's acid. I don't know. One of the two. Just don't ask her for a tea, because that won't be forthcoming. Stace, what's coming up next? What have we got?
For live?
Well, in general, what's exciting?
So many things. We have Miami Swim Week. That's coming. 5 spots left. So sign up. What else do we have?
5 spots, Miami Swim Week. Okay, we keep
Runway
reiterating that.
Rising will come up soon after that. Tickets will
That-
go on sale
that
in May.
Flies round so quickly. I mean, literally, I do Swim Week. That finishes 2nd of June. By the end of the month, I'm over in the UK starting the UK training schedule. So if you're in the UK, listen up, your training dates for that are already out, I believe. That will come up, it's held at Lacey's. That will be around before we know it. And then I literally will be home for August, and that's it. We're back off on the road again.
Tickets for New York Fashion Week will go on sale May 1st.
May 1st, New York Fashion Week tickets, great. Looks like a busy, very busy season already, that looks like. The company, just the information I'm getting about it. Haven't got any idea of shows, etc., but just the general vibe.
Could also say that New York Fashion Week is going to be a little later this season.
I think it is, yeah.
It's a week after what it normally is.
So it's a week after Labour Day weekend. That is the rumour on the planet. So
Yeah.
we will confirm that one. So don't book your hotel and your flights for Labour Day weekend, because we won't be there. Anything else to add yet, Mike?
Nope.
No, everyone's just enjoying the show. The riveting conversation.
What was one of your favorite shows from New York Fashion Week?
For me personally, from an artistic standpoint and from a hair standpoint and everything else, Pip & Co was an absolute standout purely for the workload that we put into that. A couple of days making the wigs, pieces, real hair, wigs we made from scratch, so the team done an amazing job for that. All based on Bram Stoker's Count Dracula from the Gary Oldman film. That was artistically very challenging but great fun, really good. I think the team that worked on that got a huge amount out of it. But then it was just lovely to see these looks coming back as well. I'm always a big fan of that, of doing some sort of like traditional hairdressing, etc. Setting the hair correctly and just playing around with it, seeing what you're going to get. And I'm doing a very, very basic pin set on this. As you see, it's just horizontal sections, really no thicker than the actual curling iron itself. This could be changed so many, many different ways, just purely the winding technique, the actual size of section. I could do vertical rolling backwards and forwards, and that would give me much more of a strong wave going into finger waving, which I'm going to do on a video. Going to give you that one for free after this live. We're doing some video shooting, some styling, so fingers crossed I'll be going into that. The hair looks perfect length for it, so that will be a future video coming down the pipe. So yes, but I don't. My interest those days is just like normal. It's like if I do the same thing every day, and if we done the same look every day at Fashion Week, I'd get bored. But because it was just so diverse this season, from show to show, I think we've done a bit of everything, didn't we? From beautiful glamorous hair to like really grungy. I think we've done only one ponytail, as in like one whole show with ponytails, which is crazy for Fashion Week. Normally they are a staple, but I don't remember doing more than that.
I feel like there wasn't a lot of straight hair either.
No, we had some that was just pulled, tucked behind the ears, but nothing like per normal. It'll be different in the summer again, I'm sure. Done a lot of wet look stuff, didn't we? Like grease back off the face. That was like, once again, going into that grungy vibe. And I only put that down because of the age of the some of the designers. I even had that great conversation with it. I think it was Sam Finger. He had a great show in his old basement. It looked like an old deserted garage. It was really mean and moody. And I was talking to him and I was like, why did he actually enjoy that look so much and that era? And I said to him, is it because you were born then and you feel like you missed it? And he said there's probably a lot of truth in that. I think that always resonates with a lot of designers, is the era that they're born in, the one they missed, that they may have had older brothers and sisters live in, is the one they want to revisit. I can't do that because I'd have to go back to about 1830. I wouldn't have known what the fashion was. Find out what my brother was living through. Any comments, Mike? Are we all good? No one else has tuned in. We've just got one person.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now, we currently have 11 on,
Oh, cool.
but no comments. Anybody that would like a question for Gary, go ahead and put it in the comments.
No one's
section.
even said hello. Come on, tell us where you're actually zooming in from. We know we've got Germany on there, so that was great. Germany, actually, what time is it now? 1 o'clock? Well, they're 8 hours ahead because it's summertime, isn't it? It's changed, isn't it? So it'll be 9 o'clock in the evening. Perfect time for them.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Oh, God.
What is-
See? Doesn't let me live. Doesn't let me give me a rest.
Is good advice for someone who's been wanting to come to Fashion Week but hasn't pulled the trigger?
Wants to come but hasn't pulled the trigger.
Yeah, they're like hesitant.
Right.
They're nervous or they don't understand. what
You
exactly-
stand in front of the mirror and just say to yourself, have I got a life? Am I a hairdresser? Am I doing what you make out? No, all seriousness. Stand in front of the mirror. No. What's holding you back? Okay, the only thing that holding the back is like an anxiety about it or a fear. Now, fear is a great thing that's destroyed, is consumed or beaten by knowledge. So, that's a part of the 2-day boot camp. You're going to be working with lots of people who've done it before. They know the ropes, and you get a great support network from it because we don't leave you to your own devices. We want to make sure that you are sort of like brought into the fold gradually, as it were. So,
All right, the viewers are waking up here. We've got some questions for you, Gary.
way
Hello, and what hairstyle are you doing?
right.
That's from Nerfy Beauty.
Not a particular hairstyle, but we're just doing some a glamorous look. It's inspired from the shows we did with. Mike's got the perfect pronunciation of it. It is
L'Agence.
L'Agence, and the other one is Pamela Rowland, and some other shows that we saw going on in this season. I'm going to move you around a little bit. Sorry, the model's got to move. Got to get her hair so I don't burn her on the face. I'm going to just tip her head towards me. Thank you. So yeah, just some glamorous vibes going on. So traditional pin set. This is all that this is. It's like just classic horizontal pin set, curling iron, paying particular attention to protecting the hair with a spray, etc., etc.
Hair by Caitlin G says, no questions, but I miss you guys, and I'll see you all in September. Runway Ready is the absolute best. Thanks for that testimonial there, Caitlin. And then Shannon would like to know which...
When's the last time you came, Caitlin? When was
She was in September, yeah.
2 seasons ago? Yeah, let us know. Can't remember when you were last there. That is the problem as far as I'm concerned. It's like we just do, especially like the summer season, because we hit the road hard. I'll follow Narrowed and go over to do London, and then you do you finish off in Paris. So by the end of that, I've seen 3,000 hairdressers, so I can never remember when I last saw them, etc., etc.
Which hairspray are you currently using?
We're using Go 365 and Max Control between the two. So depending on how I feel like the hair or the section is, I've switched it up.
And let's see, styling with JP, that's Jen, would like to know
Jen!
if you brought any combs back from Japan for her.
Yes. Unfortunately, Jen, they were all confiscated by TSA. They only let me have mine. So, listen, you lot. I went to Japan and I said to lots of people beforehand, if you want some combs from over there, let me know, tell me what you want, and I'll pick it up. Did any of you, for once, give me what you wanted? No. You're quite happy to sit there on your phone, watch me and Narrowed having to work away, travelling around, jet lag coming out of our ears.
When did you put out that offer?
I told everyone when we were in New York, and I tell everyone in general anyway. So listen, we're not going to go on our Instagram feed and go jumping up and down and go, okay guys, here's the sale point, we're at the hair shop now, what combs do you want? Too late, snooze you lose. So that was it.
Caitlin was with us last February and September in New York. So,
What did you enjoy most?
you'll remember this. She's the one that almost got hit by a bus
What?
crossing the street.
Where was that?
That was, I think probably
That was
remember that
September.
one, yeah.
Caitlin from Tennessee?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Ruby Locks Hair says, I just finished this season's London and Paris first season. Loved every moment. Nothing to be scared of. I had a bad experience in the past, but Gary and the team were great and extremely supportive.
That is a great. She sent me a lovely message. This young lady. I met her in London, and she had a bad experience backstage with somebody. I can't remember the full story, but it was just a really interesting story. And she told me about, you know, what she thought session stylists were like and all the rest of it. And I just hope she vouches for us that, as I say, we don't want to treat you like that. Yes, it gets pressurised backstage. Yes, there is pressure, and sometimes we don't scream at you per se. We might just say, come on guys, let's pick the pace up, but we're not going to dig you out individually unless you were like, I don't know, set the lights on all my combs that I brought back from Japan. But yeah, we want to hopefully make sure that you have a nice time, or you feel part of it. That's really the key to it. I don't think when someone says, oh, is Fashion Week fun? I mean, I always say that's a strong word for me, but it's a great team building exercise, and if you haven't done it before, it's very unique. You get a crazy buzz from it. So yeah, I know she enjoyed it. As I say, she went to London and got the opportunity to go to Paris. So really, really good. Full marks for taking the opportunity and running with it. There was a few of them over there that did that because it's so easy and accessible, as you well know. It's just easy to travel around, isn't it? Jump on a train from London, get into Paris in 2 hours. So yeah, it's just. I think if you want to expand your skill set in styling, but also give yourself unprecedented product knowledge, how to use our product to the most beneficial way, especially behind the chair, and not be frightened of it, because I know what you hairdressers are like. You like to stick to certain favourite products, and we get you to use them way out of your comfort zone about the amount we use, etc., etc. I think it's totally worth it for just in that respect alone. And you'll probably know that from working backstage. It's like sometimes we use hardly any, and the next minute you're like, wallet, you're enveloped in it.
Everything at once.
Yeah, so that's really cool.
Do you have a question about your hot tool? Is that a 1-inch curler?
That size. I don't ever have them measured. It's like,
Like a 1 inch.
it looks like a 1 inch, isn't it? Because the thickness of my thumb. My thumb now is 1 inch across, and I know that from using colour. So yeah, approximately yes. Does that matter? No. So that's like the obsession of like what formulas do you use and stuff like that. What size iron? The iron could be completely, or the hair will dictate to you what result you're going to get purely because of the section you take, how you wind it up. Is it on base? Is it off base? Have you got root drag? Have you not? Have you lifted it away from the head, or have you wound it straight directly in? If I took a very large section with this, I'm going to get very curly ends and very loose roots. If I take a simple section similar size to that, I'm going to get an even result from roots to ends. So that's where you've got to understand. It's like, just because I picked up a smaller curling iron doesn't mean I'm going to make the hair curlier, or vice versa. It's all completely down to the sections you take and everything else. As I say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to wind hair up. It's just experience can't replace that. I just learnt that from many, many years of rolling hair up and, you know, doing things under pressure and figuring stuff out. If you go to a job and you realise you've only got 2 curling irons and you need a specific look, you're soon going to find out what they can and can't do. Another one?
Yep.
I'm just walking off screen. Yeah, go on. Fire away, Mike.
Ruby Locks is just reiterating how much fun she has. She supported everything Gary had just. She supports everything you had just said, made some great friends, worked hard, had fun, and must be a great team player is a big plus.
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, we force it out of you, know. And she sat in the front of the class, and her face was just like, "Oh, I don't know about this. I'm not sure about this fella up here. I've never heard of him. Who is he? Whatever." But I got in her face and broke it down. And that was the last model. I just snapped all her hair off. I did, and it's just.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's my cats. No. Yeah. So you know, there's many, many permutations of reasons to do it. It's great. So hopefully you'd think it was something very, very different than what you didn't expect. I always say that to people. Is it what you expected? And a lot of them always say no. It was slightly different. To come along and be in a, we try and give you the idea of what is it actually to like to work backstage. That is the main thing from when you first come along. Is like give themselves an idea of how hectic it can be, worst case scenarios, etc. You know, I don't want to spend 3 hours teaching you a ponytail because you won't get 3 hours to do one. We want to get you in that team environment where someone who is more experienced maybe than yourself can do it and lead you on the way. You know, you can come along and just be a great assistant. It's one of the best things you can do. So, and as you can see from here, we've got Little House on the Prairie at the moment going on, just ringlets. The Victorian era is back. Do we want that? Absolutely not. Any question, Mike?
No.
No?
Nothing new.
Stacey must have something to say.
She just logged in. Let's see if she's going to leave.
Oh, right, she's logged in.
I was just checking.
Yeah, she's just checking all the questions coming down the pipe. And as you can see from this, you know, the set is really, really nice and soft. Okay, even all that hairspray I used on it. But the actual hair has got just like loads of movement, and it's just got the increased shine, and that really is down to the hairspray. But it's got a great bit of sort of like guts to it. Actually, the hair is fighting me, and that's what I want. For no particular reason. I literally, you know, to a certain extent, I don't know what I'm going to get out of it because I've never done a hair before. But also, you don't know how curly it's going to be and respond to that, and then where you're going to take it. But as I say, you initially just get the curl brushed through, and then you're going to go back in and start working it. This is what we would call a cast. So you're putting a really nice strong cast in the hair. Now you can see through here where the max control's been used, it's going to have a lot more pop on it. Look at that. So that's great. What I see through here, I get excited about that now because I'm seeing this. Well, as I said, I'm just going to tip your head forward here. This is what I'm after when I'm going to, if I want to brush that out into like a finger wave shape, because you've got that indentation in it. So that is just a difference in using a different hairspray on the head has done that. So, you know, people ask, oh, the size of the curling iron, you know, just using a different product has given me that option as well. So slightly harder to brush through, but once it's all gone, really, really nice. I love what that fringe is doing through here already. Instantly makes it look just expensive. I mean, you imagine that with a little winged eye and a little sort of 40s, 50s number on, bam, we're home and dry. And we're going to look into various ways of brushing it out. Any questions, Mike?
Nothing new.
Nothing? We're running way over time. We're going to be running over time. So I'm just jumping in, getting myself a teasing brush. The Unite teasing brush, the old faithful. Have we got any of these left? Or are they all gone?
I think they're gone.
They're gone. They're gold dust now. These are for the collectors. Same again. You know, snooze you lose if you didn't get them originally. There's not much left, is there, at all, actually? Of anything. Right, let's look at teasing the hair. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tease it straight. This is one way of brushing the hair out. So, as I said, we've got this great set on there. It's got a nice lot of curl retention. We just look at one section itself. Hold on. Extra cameraman's at it. He's coming around, he's doing a little sneaky side shot. Mike panning around. Go on. Do it all the way, Mike. Just show them what they're up to. Look. Madam's over there cleaning her makeup brushes. Stacey's looking at her dinner menu for the evening.
Oh my god.
As you can see, the camo jacket, people, I'm telling you, it was a trend. So, let's look at teasing the hair to control it. So that rolling motion is one you want to practice. Okay, it's not an aggressive tease.
Lots of hearts on that one. People want to see more behind the scenes.
Oh.
Not the only one working, Gary.
They like what they liked having the camera around.
Yeah.
Really, I told you. They
Let's
get
see
fed up.
more Stacey.
They got fed up with me being in front of the camera all these years. They're like, oh yeah, great, something decent to look at for once. See what I have to work with?
Yep.
This is like, you know, that's why I called you up. Was just like, give me something else, please. Give me something to work for. They're about as exciting as cardboard half the time, so it's quite good to get them doing something. So once again, roll that brush in there, and this is going from roots to end. So this is very much an old-fashioned way of styling. If I wanted purely volume, I would just vigorously do the root base 3 or 4 times and leave it. I wouldn't be brushing all the way through the ends, but I'm putting a tiny amount of teasing through here just to pull out the hair and to smooth it and to straighten it. And that is really, this is all like what I call the internal body of that section, of that cast. It's going to get less and less when I get to the very top, because you don't need it there. This is just literally to put volume into it. So you can imagine if all the hair was done, you are now getting a smooth bob out of that, as you can see through here, with volume. Okay, even though that hair was done curly, that's what's given me the guts to the hair. That is what's prepped the hair properly, and that is what's allowed me to do that. And that is, I've learnt that purely from, you know, way back in the day. I was made to do roller sets, and there was a few clients used to come in and they didn't even want product on their hair. I couldn't even use setting lotion. It was crazy. And then how to brush them out, and it was great. It was a great learning tool, and I encourage anyone, if you want to work backstage, you want to do session work full time, learn your period hair, learn your decades, find out how it used to be done, and you will put a modern spin on it, because it won't ever look the same as sitting under a dryer for 10 hours. But when you see this will pop up in a show, I guarantee it. We had it last year in Miami. We had to do every decade. Remember that show, Stace?
Yeah, that was cool.
We had to do every decade from the 30s. Each one through was crazy. It was like pick a hairstyle from that decade and put it on the model. It was great, but extremely challenging. And one thing, obviously, I would like to have had is like some members of the team that were more familiar with what that hair looks like through the decades. Because one, you would not curl the hair the same, and you would not brush it out the same. So as we get onto our final piece through the top, as you can see through here, the actual teasing becomes less and less and less. It's what I call the polished area, and that will then just sit over the top like so. So hopefully we're getting a really nice smooth finish with volume on there, even though we rolled it up on that small size iron. Never would have guessed that one, would you, Mike?
Never.
No. So we have a relatively small section here of the fringe. Now I'm going to put some more teasing into this because I want to control it. And I did this in the last season. And someone asked me why I was back brushing a fringe. And I said, like, I'm literally doing it just to control it. I'm not doing it to put volume in it or anything else like that. I want to control it and make sure it just stays there. And this was a trick I learned from watching my mum do hair in the kitchen from back in the day. You know, bless her little cotton socks, because it would be quite nice if she could see me doing this, but she can't. And as you can see, I can control the hair through here, and when it's done slightly, and what I'm looking for is, you know, it really is that set perfection of the hair is moulded and then brushed in. I'm just going to show you side on how that looks. Mike's going to pop his camera into there. You know, it's fair to say model's got, you know, reasonably fine hair, not a huge amount of it, but you know, this is how you would make it look denser. Give it a really great shape, and then we will dust it with a spray. So I'm not spraying the hairspray directly at the head. It's always almost like I'm coming across it, and I'm almost like caressing the hair with it on a sideways motion. That's the Go 365 because I know it's so easy to work with. Stacey's had enough, she's done a runner. Let's just emphasise that little wave in there. I love that piece.
My little bangs that are growing out.
The growing out bangs, absolutely. Now, my little tip for that, and a little area of interest, I'd put a comb in through here and just pop that in, just to hold that off the face. Once again, it's synonymous with maybe a certain time. it wouldn't always be done. It just depends on the time and area you were doing the actual hair. So that would get its final spray. Then we will look at the other side. Okay, let's have a look what the other side's giving me. I do like that fringe piece already, I can't lie. And I've got to say I can't lie, because Narad that'll make him laugh. It's very much a London thing as well at the moment. Can't lie? He'll know, it's inside a joke. Right, let's brush that through. I like what the fringe is doing. I'm just going to keep brushing this down. Okay, so what we found through those shows that we were doing, Legance and Pamela Rowan, is you would have to keep brushing your set. All right, you're going to get your model to resist it, and the more you brushed it, and I would do it both ways sometimes. That would give us really, really cool look. I love how that's sort of looking almost like a little 40s roll line on the side as a comparison. Now with this, I'm definitely going to use, you would use like either the small or large duckbill clips. This one I'll use a little setting pin just to hold that hair in shape through here. I'm just going to pull that other hair out of the way so I can get a good view of this. So you just have to use your imagination, because we're running out of time. If all the hair was set, you get that lovely curl, and that if the hair was longer, you would get a lot more of the bounce. I can brush that out, I could tease that, pull more of it out, but it's just wonderful how that hair looks on the top, through the side. That instantly gives it that little click air of glamour. You can't get that from blow drying. You know, it's very, very hard. It's that set look. It's the beautiful wave, what it does, and that's what adds that air, sort of like air of expensive, you know, glamorous red carpet look. So hopefully you found that interesting. I thought it was, you know, a great little reference on what we experienced this season. We will cover it again when we're up there at the seasons in September, because, you know, chances are it will be utilised again at the show. The next live is Retail Like a Pro. Oh, Stacey's back in the room, everyone. She's back. Date is April the 7th. That's not next week, is it?
No.
2 weeks. 2 weeks time. April 7th, 10 a.m. as per usual. It's not a late start like today. Although Mike likes this late start.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, he didn't want to get him early out of bed. What time did you get up? Sort of like 10?
Well, kid gets up at 6, so I'm up at 6 anyway.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah. So he's got mini Mike running around. And that's with Ali. Ali's back in front of the camera. You know, when will they see me again, Stace? I don't know. It could be like 2026.
April 21st.
Really?
Yeah.
You wish. What am I doing?
That's a great question. Oh, wait. I don't know.
Check
Cutting? Mixology?
That sounds right.
The mixologist.
Yes.
Oh, a bit of science going on.
Layering products? Or
Yeah, love that. Excellent,
Yeah,
excellent.
layering.
So, once again, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching it on a replay, it's probably even funnier. I think it probably is. Hope you enjoyed the new models who's based here in Carlsbad, who's travelled the world. We didn't get enough information out of her. Hopefully I can get that in the styling video.
Instagram handle there, Sterling. What do you
Yeah.
got?
Sterling Claremont.
All right, we'll add it to
Yeah.
the...
Sterling Claremont.
Yeah.
That sounds like an expensive like brokerage from like, what's his name, the Wolf of Wall Street. Thank you for investing in
Fancy.
Sterling Claremont. Fantastic. You have to live up to your name though, don't you? You ever know
It's
that?
your
That actually
currency.
the name you're given is what you actually happen, a lot of the time happens to you in life. You know, Ziggy Stardust, I know it was like, but you know, if you call your kid Ziggy, they're not going to be, you know, a little bookworm, are they? They're going to be a rock star, you just know it. So if you end up like Stacey, then, you know, you're going to end up borrowing everyone else's clothes. So anyway, till the next time, people.